What's up everyone, Alex here. If you frequent the channel's community tab, you'll notice that I've been using that to post some sales records of your favorite games. With so many announcements recently, I figured why not make a quick video talking about some of them. It might not be timely, but I want to ensure that everyone can revel in the celebration. So in this video, I want to celebrate the incredible sales milestones to some of your favorite games, as well as some other noteworthy mentions. It was Nier's 12th anniversary in April. Say what you will about Yoko Taro's decision to make Nier Reincarnation a mobile game, but Nier's presence is felt more today than it did 12 years ago. Who would have thought that an unassuming game made with the best intentions would go on to become one of Square Enix's blockbuster hits? I've personally been playing through Nier Reincarnation since last year, and I'm having a blast. The grind to get more powerful is real though, but you'd be glad to know that I've yet to spend a single dime on that game. Oh, and before I forget, if you're enjoying this video, please leave a like, post a comment, then subscribe to the channel. Let me know what games you're celebrating with us in the comments, and post some of your awesome wins too if you'd like. Talking about games I need to get back to, Devil May Cry 5 just sold 5 million copies. Admittedly, I hadn't beaten a mainline Devil May Cry game since 2, so you know this backlog is deep. This is another one of those games that I'd love to come back to, especially now that I've shaken off my action game button mashing habits thanks to Elden Ring. Either way, I consider Devil May Cry 5 to be a true return to form, and I hope fans out there all had a ton of fun playing through it. If you watched that 30-minute video I made on Elden Ring, then you know I've been obsessed with it, so it's no surprise that the game is selling over 12 million copies. Bandai Namco has been pretty mum about its sales in April, but I have a really good feeling that it's continuing to grow. If you've been gun-shy about trying out a Soulsborne game, I highly recommend checking this out. Or, if not, you can always find out more about the game in my massive 30-minute video on it. I promise that it'll both be entertaining and informative. Koei Tecmo announced that Atelier Sophie 2 sold 200,000 units. Now, compared to all the other games on this list, this might seem small. But when you consider that Atelier Sophie only sold 68,000 copies in the same time period, this is a huge milestone. I think Atelier Sophie 2 is one of the best games in Atelier history. And if you haven't checked it out yet, you can find a link to my review in the description or clicking the link shown. And don't let the number fool you. It's a fantastic first game to start with if you've been curious about the series. Atlus announced that Shin Megami Tensei 5 sold 1 million units since its worldwide launch in November. This might sound paltry when you compare it to Persona's humongous success, but this is a really good thing for the series. By comparison, we know that SMT4 sold a little over 600,000 copies worldwide, so SMT5 eclipses this by a huge margin, easily making it the best-selling Shin Megami Tensei of all time. Either way, this tells Atlus that there is a hunger for more challenging turn-based RPG experiences. So here's hoping that they got the message sooner rather than later. One of my favorite games last year, The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, sold more than 500,000 copies since its Western release. While some might say that it pales in comparison to the Ace Attorney trilogy sell-through, I'd argue that this never-before-released title in the West proves to Capcom that there is a hunger for more games in the series. Sure, it's not a million seller, but consider the difference between SMT4 and SMT5 and how it eventually got there. I'm also hoping that this means more Naruhodo in the future. After seemingly getting delayed, Xenoblade Chronicles 3's release date has been pushed forward to July 29, 2022. Shortly after this announcement, we now know why, as Splatoon 3 gets a September release. Because of this, we're now seeing the PR cycle kick into high gear, with new character profiles, info, and trailers showcasing the game's new cast, parallels to both the first and second games, and lots more. I honestly can't wait to dive into this world. And in case you need to know, July 29th is a Friday. Thanks to Xbox Game Pass, Scarlet Nexus has now been played by 2 million people. For a brand new IP, this is humongous. Scarlet Nexus is one of those rare action games that can be played by people who don't necessarily play these types of games, and if you've got Game Pass, you at least have to try it out. I should also point out that Game Pass has a ton of Japanese games on there that you'll enjoy. One of my favorites happens to be Dragon Quest Builders 2. I know it looks like Minecraft, but trust me, you'll fall in love with it once you play it. And last but certainly not least, Tales of Arise sold 2 million copies. The Tales series isn't a stranger to these types of numbers, of course, as games like Symphonia, Vesperia, and Berseria all crossed that magic number. But Tales of Arise is certainly the fastest game to reach the sales milestone. I think it's deserving of all its success after becoming our community's collective Game of the Year of 2021. And there you have it, some incredible sales milestones, anniversaries, and release date announcements to celebrate and revel in their success. And maybe another playthrough of some of these games are in order. Either way, I'd love to read your experiences with some of these games in the comments as well. If you enjoyed your time with us, please consider joining our community by hitting like, posting your comment, and subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.